This is Wifies' latest video, the search for the Leviathan, and at the very end we see two numbers, 4 by 4. But when I found out what those numbers actually mean, it changed the way I looked at every Wifies video. Durlord, Avery, the Leviathan, the King in Yellow, and that's when I realized 44 wasn't just some random number, it was a clue. A clue to 8 other videos that are related to this. This is the true identity of Wifies and the organization behind the Vex Syndicate. It started with a Lomedy video called Disturbing Footage on a Minecraft Kids channel. Hidden inside that video was a coded message using an A1Z26 cipher where each number corresponds to a letter's position in the alphabet. When decoded, it reads 1 down, 3 more to go. Then ZachOBuilds uploaded Finding the Player That Did This to Him, another completely unrelated Minecraft mystery. Another hidden message at the end, 2 down, 2 more to go. Then Render uploaded There's a Parasite Corrupting His Game, 3 down, 1 remains. And people had already started suspecting Wifies would be the 4th because of his connections to the other videos, so when his video ends with 44, it confirms it. Whatever has been happening behind these 4 seemingly separate mysteries across 4 different channels is now complete. But here is what makes this genuinely insane. All 4 creators were contacted by the exact same source. Lomedy was emailed by someone called Vex about the RunSonic Kids channel. Zach was emailed by Vex and told to look into the VipersDen subreddit because there was something bigger going on. Render was sent the Henry and Flurry case through the same Vex email connection, and Wifies was given a shared folder called Leviathan Reports organized by the Vex.Syndicate@gmail.com. The same entity handed all 4 creators their cases, the Vex Syndicate. So who is the Vex Syndicate, and what were they actually doing with these 4 creators? Look closely at the logo here, you will start noticing it is actually an octopus, or a sea creature to be an octopus. To be specific, this is Cthulhu. Well, you might think, how is an octopus related to the Vex Syndicate, and why am I calling this Cthulhu specifically? I promise by the end of this video, this all will make sense. But now, we need to go through a behind-the-scenes video Wifies made. There, he specifically said there was supposed to be a large supernatural boss who was supposed to help Durlord in the Nether puzzle stage to help him find the gate through deep ocean and fight the final boss, the King in Yellow.
It was originally going to be a completely different route this story took that ended up getting scrapped in like the final hour, and it all revolves around this guy, the Cthulhu. He's another one of these cosmic gods, and in the Lovecraftian lore, he conveniently has beef with Hastur, or the King in Yellow. My original plan was that in this purgatory where Derek gets stuck, he somehow discovers a massive ocean that takes him to the spell by the help of the Cthulhu. He then chants the spell and breaks out of purgatory.
Let's take Wifies here as Durlord's proxy, and Hummer here as the supernatural sea creature's proxy. This matches with the Leviathan video storyline. But wait, the supernatural sea creature was supposed to be Leviathan and not someone ordinary like Hummer? What if I tell you Hummer was Leviathan all along? There are 3 separate moments in the entire Leviathan video where Hummer asks Wifies to believe. Not in the Leviathan, in him, in Hummer specifically. And at the climax, right before everything changes, Hummer looks at Wifies and says, "You are here because you believed in me." From the very beginning, Hummer told Wifies that the Leviathan only shows his form to people who believe in him. That faith is the only way in. Now think about what Wifies actually did throughout this entire video. He went through hundreds of Reddit posts about the Leviathan. Hundreds, most of them fake, most of them misidentified guardians or kelp or drowned, most of them completely worthless. And out of all of them, he chose one. Hummer5718, even after finding out that Hummer's own screenshot was deliberately faked. Even after drowning multiple times because of Hummer's ideas. Even after being banned from Aranax's server because Hummer convinced him to drown there too, he kept choosing Hummer, he kept believing in Hummer. And that was not random. Wifies never believed in the Leviathan. He said that multiple times throughout the video. He thought Aranax was probably right, he thought it was probably just a bug, but he believed in Hummer. And believing in Hummer was the same thing as believing in the Leviathan, because they are the same thing. And here is the evidence that made me completely certain about this. When Hummer takes Wifies to a different server after they get banned from Aranax's world, they end up needing redstone supplies to build a submarine. So they do what any reasonable investigators would do and start going through someone's chest. And then Wifies says something like, "We will return your stuff back," and Para immediately responds, "What do you mean, we?" Para could not see Hummer at all. From his perspective, there was only one person standing in front of his chest. And it was not just Para. In the tree-growing bet where multiple players gathered around to watch and participate, with people bone-mealing saplings and cutting down trees and yelling at each other, not a single person acknowledged Hummer once. Not one interaction, not one glance. 6 people in that one spot, and Hummer was completely invisible to all of them. And on Aranax's server, one of the most populated and well-built Leviathan research servers that exists, with players everywhere exploring exhibits and navigating the builds, nobody interacted with Hummer either. Only Wifies could see him. Only Wifies could hear him. Because only Wifies believed in him. Hummer is that god. The Leviathan is that god. The sea creature that was always supposed to be part of this universe is right there in that video, and almost nobody recognized it for what it was. And now I keep using the word Cthulhu. And some of you have probably been wondering why. To understand that, we need to go back to one of the very first ARG Wifies ever covered. Someone messages Wifies asking him to look into some footage of a Minecraft mod called Minecraft Companion. The footage belongs to a kid named Luke who goes by ExtremeGamer11, and what Luke was doing was trying to install this mod that basically promised to give you an AI friend to play Minecraft with. A virtual companion. On the surface, that sounds completely harmless. The mod gets installed and almost immediately something feels off. When Luke first tries to run the game, he gets a crash report. Most people who watched this just clocked it and moved on. But the last line of that crash report says, "Thank you for letting me into your home." That is not a normal crash report message. When Luke finally gets the mod working, a black figure shows up in his world. It calls itself M. And honestly, for a while, M just seems kind of sweet. It picks flowers. When Luke mentions being scared of the dark, M spends time placing torches everywhere around the world. They go mining together, they build stuff, and then the cracks start showing. M knows what Luke is typing before he even sends it. Luke starts to write his real name, changes his mind, and types ExtremeGamer11 instead, and M immediately responds, "No, what is your real name?" Before Luke could do anything with that unsent message, M already knew. There is no explanation for how. And M starts getting possessive in a way that is genuinely uncomfortable. When Luke says he has to go eat dinner, M does not just say, "Okay, see you later." M says, "You can wait. That is what you said yesterday." And this is where Wifies stops just watching and starts actually digging. Because he finds the Minecraft Companion mod website. And clicking through the download buttons takes him somewhere very specific. A seizure notice. This domain has been seized by the United States Department of Metaphysical Sciences in accordance with 6 U.S. Code Section 1534 as part of a law enforcement action by the FBI. The Department of Metaphysical Sciences. The DMS. Park that name right there. We are coming back to it. Through encrypted videos hidden across the website, it becomes clear that M is not an AI at all. M is an entity. Discovered in Yuma, Arizona on September 9th, 2011, classified as extremely dangerous and hostile, so dangerous that it caused one of the biggest blackouts in California history, and it is currently being contained and studied by a government organization called Archive. The DMS, subdivision that handles the actual hands-on experimentation. This is the first time across any Wifies video that we ever hear about the DMS and Archive, and it will not be the last. What the DMS did was trap M inside Minecraft specifically to study it, to document it, to understand what it actually was, and in doing so they put Luke directly in its path without him ever knowing. That is one experiment, and I say one for a reason, because there are more. And to understand the next one, I need to take you to a whole different ARG entirely, finding a player who doesn't exist. This ARG is genuinely one of the most unsettling things I have come across, and you need to understand what happens in it because it connects to everything. So it starts completely normal. A player called Crafty logs onto a Minecraft server with his friend Alex. They are just vibing, building stuff, doing regular Minecraft things, nothing weird, nothing off, just two friends playing a game. And then Alex just stops. Like, completely. He stops talking in chat, stops responding to anything, stops being a normal human person, and instead he just starts doing this one thing over and over. He pulls out a compass, turns to face dead north, and walks. Just holds down left click and walks forward through everything. Mountains, caves, oceans, gravel pits, it does not matter. He goes through all of it. Does not stop, does not turn, does not acknowledge anyone or anything for 6 years of in-game lore. 6 years. His friends eventually got so freaked out they just left the server entirely, and Alex kept going, alone, still heading north. As people dug deeper into this ARG, they started finding things hidden in the footage. Government watermarks, encrypted messages, hidden text buried in static, and it all pointed to one organization pulling the strings behind everything. The United States Department of Metaphysical Sciences. The same DMS, same organization, different experiment. They intercepted Alex's Minecraft world and turned it into a controlled experiment, broadcasting subliminal audio, planting precise redstone torches to guide his movements, brainwashing him through the game itself to force him to keep walking north without ever stopping or questioning why. They were not trying to beat Minecraft. They were testing how long a human mind could survive being forced into a completely rigid robotic existence before it completely broke down. The DMS does not just operate as this big, faceless organization. They have a subdivision, a specific unit that handles the actual hands-on experimentation, Archive. And once you know Archive exists, you start seeing their fingerprints everywhere in this ARG, in ways that make your skin crawl. So remember when Alex and Crafty were just building together at the beginning? Everything completely normal, nothing suspicious at all. And then Alex just suddenly stops what he is doing, turns to Crafty and asks, "Is that you?" And everyone watching at the time was confused, but when Wifies started digging, decoding the gibberish, following signs, tracking down a YouTube URL hidden in the footage, and when they finally pieced together Alex's actual point of view from that exact moment, there was a figure, just standing there in the distance, watching them, not moving, not speaking, just there. Someone had been in that world with them the whole time. And then when Alex goes underground to mine, there is a room just sitting there where it absolutely should not be. A room completely covered floor to ceiling in signs, and the username of whoever put them there looks like complete nonsense at first. Random characters. But when you decode it, it says one thing: Archive. They were there the entire time, watching Alex, guiding him. And not just guiding him, traumatizing him. Because in one of the YouTube videos showing Alex just mechanically walking north there is something written in the description that confirms Archive was the one giving him orders, brainwashing him, keeping him walking. That is 2 experiments. M in Minecraft, Alex walking north, both executed through Archive, both using Minecraft as the lab and a real person as the subject, and it does not stop there. And then there is the King in Yellow, Wifies' most famous ARG,
a world that doesn't
the
exist.
one that blew up his entire channel. After the series supposedly ended, when you try to access Durlord's drive folder where all his footage was supposed to be stored, you find a note sitting there instead. This folder has been confiscated by the Department of Metaphysical Sciences, but honestly, I knew they were involved even before that, because look at the pattern. They experimented on M. They brainwashed Alex into walking north for 6 years, and what happened to Durlord is the exact same type of thing. Same organization, same methods, different experiment. So what actually happened to Durlord? Because this is the question that started everything for me. At the end of episode 1, Durlord goes left at the crossroad, gets close to a gate, peeks inside, and whatever is there gets completely censored. We cannot see it. And then he just stands there for 15 whole seconds before he runs. And that detail has been bothering me since the first time I watched it. Because if you saw something genuinely terrifying, something that made every instinct in your body scream at you, you would not stand there for 15 seconds. You would be gone immediately. So why did Durlord stand there for 15 seconds before running? And when Avery goes through the same gate later, it leads to a hallway of more gate. But a hallway? That is not nearly enough to leave someone completely traumatized out of their mind. And if you have no idea what I am talking about, this whole ARG is based on a book called The King in Yellow by Robert Chambers. Super cursed, go read it. I think Durlord saw the second act of the play, and if you know the book, you already know why that is a big deal. The second act is described as this thing that is so disturbingly beautiful that your brain just cannot handle it. People do not go crazy because something scary jumped at them. They go crazy because what they saw was so consuming they can never stop thinking about it. It rewires you completely, and that is why Durlord stood there for 15 seconds before running. He was not frozen looking at a monster, he was reading. He literally could not look away. It fills your head with truths about reality that humans were never supposed to know. Your brain just is not built for it, and it crumbles under the weight. Which is exactly why Durlord keeps saying his mind is corrupted in episode 2. It was not a jump scare that broke him, it was knowledge. And one of the most significant side effects of reading the second act is that your sense of time completely breaks down. And Durlord literally says in episode 2 that he lost his sense of time. People just glossed over that line completely. But it fits perfectly. And to everyone saying Durlord saw the physical King in Yellow and that is what drove him insane, that is just not a thing. Go read the 1895 stories. Nowhere in there does it say looking at the King in Yellow physically drives you insane. The only description you ever get of him across the entire book is a tattered yellow robe and a pallid mask. That is everything. And here is the part that completely sealed it for me. In the book and quill there is this block of random numbers that shows up, and by the end of the video it gets decoded into an actual message. It reads, "Run, Avery, it's here. Durlord was the original owner of the laptop. Avery found it way later." So how does Durlord know Avery's name? He should not. There is no way he should. Unless the second act already shattered his sense of time and he could literally see what was coming. He saw Avery finding the laptop, loading into the world, walking toward the same gate, and with whatever coherent thought he had left, he ran back and wrote a warning for someone he had technically never met. Also, the 4x4 is not just a hidden meaning that is connected to other YouTubers' videos, but it is also the meaning of how many tests they ran on Wifies. They themselves showed us 4 currently active experiments. In this screenshot, number 1 was already revealed, which, if you decode, is M. The second one, I assume, is Alex. Third one is Doorlord. And the fourth one is Wifies? In the last video, the DMS experimented on M, Alex, and Doorlord, and now Vex Syndicate is experimenting on Wifies. The only reason I told you all this backstory about the DMS is because I think Vex syndicated none other than the DMS. Why? Look at the pattern of experiments. They all match. And most importantly, the Vex Syndicate logo matches with the DMS logo. Both have octopus, a sea creature, or Cthulhu to be exact. And all these emails that the 4 YouTubers have gotten are from the DMS. And remember how they have a subdivisions called Archive? The Vex Syndicate is just one of their other subdivision.